Good morning. Laurie Penner here. I'm sitting in the beautiful meditation chapel at Steep. I had to come over here to find some paperwork. And so I'm thinking about worship as I sit here in this beautiful spot and the sun is shining outside, thinking about music in particular. We are in a time when we are being asked to do things for the needs of others in our general society, wearing masks in public, being careful, using our hand sanitizer and washing our hands a lot, sometimes wearing gloves, staying 6 feet away from other people, not just for ourselves, but for others, because we don't know if we have contracted the virus somewhere, and we don't know whether or not we are a carrier that has no symptoms. It reminds me of how it would be in the church and how we can be in the church thinking of the needs of others more than we think of the needs of ourselves. So there are people out there in terms of music that love traditional hymns. There are people out there that love contemporary church Christian music. There are people out there that may not be part of our Steep community yet that love jazz and its application to the church. Others that love gospel music or old-timey music or many, many different kinds of music that can be done and is done by a variety of places at a variety of times. And how are we as the Steep community going to deal with all of this variety? We may only like hymns. We may only like the hymns that are in the hymnal 1982. Or we may really like some hymns that aren't in there that were found in the hymnal 1940. And that's wonderful. There may be others who really love contemporary music, listen to it every day on the radio, contemporary Christian rock, love it, want to hear more of it, miss the days when at St. Thomas we had this fabulous guitarist who played and led the music, miss the days when we had many people singing and had some really wonderful music. We may miss that. Others who may go to the 8 o'clock may not care one bit about what kind of music we sing. Or you have your own ideas of what music should be, and it's something that you love to listen to at home. But the quiet and the peaceful aspect of that 8 o'clock service is a wonderful, wonderful thing to you. Music affects everybody in different ways. For those who don't play an instrument and who can't sing, some people I know long to be able to do those things and just love music. Others have chosen to stay away from music because it's just kind of painful because they don't play or sing and it's not that much fun for them. So wherever you are on the spectrum, just like we are being called right now to care for others in a particular way because of COVID-19, we are also called as Christians to care for one another in our church community. And sometimes that's hard. And there's a song that's being sung that you really don't like. It's difficult sometimes to think about the people for whom this song means a great deal. There are some hymns in the hymnal that I love, and there are some hymns in the hymnal that make me cringe, both theologically and musically. But those ones that make me cringe may be the ones that you find the most meaningful. I can let you be like that. I can let you love that hymn. I can let you rejoice and delight in that hymn. I do not need to give you a theological treatise on it. I don't need to tell you how unsingable it is. None of that matters because you love the hymn. There's some contemporary music that I think does not belong in church. Some of the stuff is, woe is me, my life stinks, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I sure am glad I have God. And I think that's not quite worship. And I would like us, in our contemporary music, to worship God. There's some jazz that I don't like. Most of it I really do. And there is some classical music I really don't like. And there is some that I adore. We all have different tastes. A friend of mine said to me once, he was my priest mentor, my first priest mentor, and he said, "Nobody leaves the church humming the sermon. Nobody leaves the church humming the sermon. The songs are what we often remember from church if they are meaningful and wonderful to us." So we know that music is important to our worship. How can we feel like we are getting the sustenance that we need and still be willing to meet the needs of those who have different taste? My friends, it all comes down to love, right? It all comes down to giving, to allowing others to rejoice in what they love and what moves them toward God, while they allow you to rejoice in what you love and what moves you toward God. Let's make room for each other. Let's make room for different kinds of expressions of music. Let's make room for growth and for adventure and for a way of finding new things. And let's see where God will lead us. See you next week.